Huge news from New York. A judge has ordered Donald Trump to be sentenced on January 10th for his 34 felony convictions. But what's next? Will he face prison time or walk free? Stay tuned as we dive into the shocking details behind this historic decision and what it means for Trump's future and American democracy. Don't miss out. Hit that like button and subscribe now to stay updated.
In a monumental decision coming out of New York, the judge overseeing the criminal case against Donald Trump has ordered that he be sentenced on January 10th, a date that now looms large in the ongoing legal saga surrounding the former president. This comes after Judge Muron rejected Trump's claim of absolute immunity in the case. We've been following this story for months, and it's clear now that we've reached a pivotal moment in what has already been a long and controversial legal process. Previously, Trump's defense team tried to have the entire case dismissed on multiple grounds, including the assertion of executive privilege and claims that as a sitting president, he couldn't be held accountable by a state court. Now, with a sentencing date set, the question everyone is asking is, what will happen next, and how will this change the landscape of American politics? At the heart of the matter is a series of serious charges. Trump was found guilty of 34 separate felony counts, a conviction that has sent shockwaves through the political and legal worlds. However, what is truly unique about this case is that it involves a former president, someone whose legal position is complicated by the role he once held. In fact, Trump's legal team argued that the entire case should be thrown out due to his presidential status. They cited the Supremacy Clause, which essentially says that federal law trumps state law, and in this case, the notion that a president could be held accountable by a state court seemed, to them, unjustifiable. But the judge, after reviewing the arguments, made it clear that there was no legal basis for dismissing the charges. In fact, Judge Muron's decision to move forward with sentencing is a significant development because it underscores the importance of accountability, regardless of the individual's former position. The matter of sentencing itself is complicated, as there are several factors at play. After all, Trump is not just any defendant. He is a former president, a political figure with immense public influence. So, how do the legal parameters of this case work when it comes to sentencing someone with such a high profile? The answer is that the judge has had to consider both legal precedents and the practical realities of what a conviction of this nature means. The judge has indicated that while Trump has been found guilty, the most likely option is not incarceration, as many would expect for someone convicted on 34 felony counts. Why? Because Trump's current legal status, combined with the possibility of him returning to office, complicates matters significantly. It's not feasible, legally or logistically, to incarcerate a sitting or future president. The district attorney's office, which is responsible for prosecuting this case, has also recognized that imprisoning a former president would not be a practical or appropriate solution given the exceptional circumstances. As a result, Judge Muron's proposed sentencing option is one that may seem surprising to many: an unconditional discharge. This is a legal term that means the defendant will not serve any jail time, nor will they be subjected to any probationary measures, fines, or other conditions. In essence, Trump would walk away from this conviction with no further obligations, no additional penalties. While this may sound shocking, especially considering the gravity of the charges against him, the legal rationale behind this decision is rooted in complex constitutional considerations. As Karen Friedman-Agnifilo, a legal expert and former top official of the Manhattan District Attorney's Office, explained, the reality is that once a president takes office, he enjoys a level of immunity that makes it difficult, if not impossible, for a state court to impose certain legal conditions on him. The legal principle of presidential immunity, which is enshrined in U.S. constitutional law, prevents a state judge from imposing conditions on someone who is about to assume the office of president, should he be re-elected. In other words, Trump's potential return to the White House is a key factor in why he may not face a more severe sentence. However, before we jump to conclusions about the fairness of this decision, it's important to understand what an unconditional discharge actually means. Although it may seem like Trump is getting away with minimal consequences, the reality is more nuanced. An unconditional discharge means that there are no conditions imposed on Trump at this stage. No probation, no fines, no jail time. However, the conviction itself stands. This is significant because, until the sentencing takes place, Trump has not technically been convicted in the eyes of the law. Once he is sentenced, he will officially be a convicted felon, and this will carry implications that will follow him for the rest of his life. No former president has ever taken office while being a convicted felon, and the historical and political consequences of this reality will be far-reaching. Now, let's take a moment to really think about the broader implications of this decision. Donald Trump is facing the prospect of taking office again as a convicted felon. This is unprecedented in American history. If Trump wins the 2024 election and returns to the White House, he would become the first president to hold office while being a convicted felon. This raises significant questions about the intersection of law, politics, and democracy in the United States. Can someone with such a conviction truly serve as the leader of the free world? And what does it say about the rule of law when a person can face serious criminal charges yet still potentially ascend to the highest office in the land? These are questions that will continue to spark debate for years to come, especially given the fact that Trump has a large and passionate base of supporters who believe he is being unjustly targeted by the legal system. It is also important to remember that even though Trump's legal team failed in their attempts to have the case dismissed, there are still some legal avenues they can pursue. One of the remaining options is for Trump's lawyers to appeal the ruling, which could delay the sentencing even further. They could request a stay of the sentence, essentially asking a higher court to pause the proceedings while they appeal. While this isn't guaranteed to succeed, it remains a possibility, and it would extend the uncertainty surrounding Trump's fate. If this happens, the legal process could drag on for even longer, prolonging the public and political discussion about the implications of his criminal conviction. The sentencing hearing on January 10th will likely be a spectacle. Both the prosecution and the defense will have the opportunity to present their arguments, and Trump himself will have the chance to speak before the judge hands down the final sentence. This will be a moment of great significance, as it will allow the public to hear directly from both sides about the severity of the crimes Trump has been convicted of and the potential consequences for the country moving forward. The prosecution will likely emphasize the seriousness of Trump's actions, arguing that his crimes had a profound impact on the integrity of American democracy. Meanwhile, Trump's defense team will no doubt continue to argue that he should not be held accountable due to his position as a former president. One of the most compelling aspects of this hearing will be the judge's final remarks. Judge Muron has already signaled that he will impose an unconditional discharge, but his reasoning will undoubtedly be crucial in shaping public opinion about this case. Karen Friedman-Agnifilo has pointed out that the judge is a highly respected figure in the legal community, and his words will carry weight in both the legal world and the court of public opinion. The judge's speech will not only address Trump's sentence but will also provide context for the broader significance of this case. It's likely that Judge Muron will emphasize the need for finality in this case, stating that while the legal system may be constrained in certain respects due to Trump's presidential immunity, the conviction itself must stand as a clear marker of accountability. Finally, after the sentencing hearing, Donald Trump will continue his political campaign, possibly running for president again in 2024. This creates a unique situation. How will the American public respond to the idea of a convicted felon running for the highest office in the land? It's hard to predict how this will play out, but it's clear that Trump's legal challenges will remain a major issue throughout the upcoming election cycle. Regardless of the final sentence, this case has already had a profound impact on American politics, and its legacy will undoubtedly continue to shape the nation's political landscape for years to come. In conclusion, the upcoming sentencing of Donald Trump on January 10th marks the end of one chapter in a complicated and unprecedented legal saga. While an unconditional discharge may seem like a lenient option, it is ultimately a reflection of the unique legal situation in which Trump finds himself. The implications of this case extend far beyond the courtroom, touching on the fundamental principles of democracy, accountability, and the rule of law. As the date of sentencing approaches, all eyes will be on the courtroom, waiting to see how this historic case unfolds. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for more updates as we continue to cover the latest developments in this groundbreaking legal battle. We'll be bringing you the best analysis, commentary, and insights on the intersection of law and politics, so you won't want to miss what's coming next. Thank you for watching, and be sure to check back for more coverage on this and other important stories.